red.
Well, welcome to Raw Vision and the Round 8 preview show ahead of the big clash on Sunday at Etihad. The Western Bulldogs were joined by assistant coach Justin Lepage. This is cosy, Lepper, isn't it?
It is. It's
very nice.
Very tight. We can't move the seats here.
No,
So.
Loving it. Now, I've got my questions down. You haven't got a good enough memory to just go off the top of my head, mate. But the significance of that win last week, Fremantle are a good side, top 4 side. Significance of that for the group.
Well, it was just a good win to beat a good side, really, that's in good form. It's the first time we've done that since we've sort of started the new club transformation when we got rid of all the old dead wood. Sorry, Richard. No, it was surely there was someone before that. But
You want to get someone else in here?
No, all seriousness, it's been great. And another challenge very similar against the Bulldogs, a team that's been up and about and been at preliminary finals. And, who would have thought 8 weeks ago this would have been, I think most people tick that off for a loss. Yeah. But we go into the game probably pretty even.
Definitely.
So it's an exciting challenge.
Watching that game last week, you could almost see as the game went on the self-belief growing. And with that self-belief, just the skills, the decision-making sort of came with that. It's really improving.
Yeah, the guys are learning what kicks to take. Yeah. I guess particularly out of the back half, knowing the percentage chances that we can get the ball transition from one point to the other, and the confidence builds from now holding possession. So it's been really good. It's been it's just good to see the groups slowly grow and that belief of winning's starting to get there.
Now, the start of that game, it was really set up by a guy who's one of the most improved players in the competition, little Robbie Nahas. He's just on fire. He's kicking goals, but he's getting his, career best possessions every week at the moment.
He's come from nowhere. I mean, last season was a bit of a downer for Robbie, and geez, he worked hard over the off-season. It really was a change in player. I know people don't only see the results now, but he really has put in the hard work. Yeah. His body shape's changed, whilst he's still small. A bit more muscular, a bit denser, not as I guess flabby as he was last year, and he's reaping the rewards from it.
So it's pretty much as simple as having a good pre-season, getting fitter.
Definitely. He took his footy really seriously and put in a lot of hard work, and he's getting the results.
And the other one we're slowly seeing development in is Ty Vickery. Kicked 3 goals last week. I think we spoke that he'd only kicked 2 in a game, so he's taken another step. You've done a lot of work with him. You must be happy.
Oh, look, I've done a bit of marking work with him. I mean, Danny sort of does most of the work with him, but it's just good to see his balance is improving, and not just he, but Alex Rance. A lot of our key position players are starting to hold their feet better within contests, and there's an important play last week where Ty just did the basics, put his knee up into the back of the opposition and took the nice, easy mark, whereas in the past he might have sort of made hard work of it. Yeah. So it's just good to see those little things getting done.
Now, Dustin Martin, he's been in the press a lot. He's had a great start to the year. Had a heavy tag last week, something he's going to have to start getting used to.
Yeah, I think Koch enjoyed that, the fact that he wasn't getting tagged. But it's true, and when you've got someone hanging off you all the time, and to be honest, the stuff where he's hanging off Dusty probably wouldn't bother him, but it's just someone being with him and with him constantly and having to work for every possession as opposed to half of his possessions becoming easy. Yeah. So, look, that's a part of development. The good thing about our midfield is that you can't just sit on one and not worry about the other. So it's a good sign.
Well, that's the great thing about it. Trent Cotchin now got freed up probably a little bit more, kicked the 4 goals, 50-game milestone for him. He seems like he's been around longer than that, doesn't he?
Yeah, 50 games. It basically reinforces how young our group is too. We sort of get carried away with what's coming next, but 50 games is only such a small part of his career, and a lot of our players, because the Rewalts and even the players around them haven't sort of gone past the 100-game mark yet. So a lot of good stuff in front of us.
Another couple of young players down back. Dylan Grimes, he's been fantastic, and Rancy had the suspension but come back in and defensively pretty sound at the moment. Yeah,
been really good. Been really happy with Dylan, his competitiveness. Obviously, he loves to spoil. He gets about 12 or 13 a week, which is great. It just shows he really wants to build his game around defence. And Tim Clark's done a lot of really good work with him in development over the last year and brought him on really quickly. Yeah. So he's done a great job there. And as you mentioned, Rance and McGuan, we've found a really good fit at the moment. So hopefully, as I said, that continues on.
Well, looking ahead to the Bulldogs game, they're getting desperate. They've had a few losses in a row. They need a win. It's going to be a big challenge. What's the game going to be won and lost in with Echeria?
Well, any team that comes into a game with that sort of, I guess we have to sort of come in with a bit of bravado and a bit of huff and puff. You really have to ride out the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you can do that and the scoreboard's still in check, well, I think you're still left with a chance in the long run. But if you sort of fall for that and sort of let that first 15 minutes or first quarter get away from you, it makes it tricky because they're going into the game wanting and needing belief. So if we give them that, they may ride that wave. But if we take that away from them, grind out that first quarter, well, anything's possible.
We haven't beaten them for a while. I think it's 6 years. Doesn't really have any meaning to this group, though, with such a young group. I mean, they weren't around in those years when we lost probably anyone.
Yeah, I mean, they're electric ball you side, the Bulldogs, and I guess our defence hasn't been good enough up until this stage to take them on. So our defensive game is going to be critical. How we perform our defensive strategies is going to be the game, whether we're going to be in the game late or not. As I said, if they blow us away because we're just not there to slow them down, well, we're just going to have to. It's going to be a pretty disappointing day for the Tigers supporters.
Oh, no. Well, the Tigers supporters have been up and about the last 2 weeks, but at the MCG, Etihad is a different ground. Does it suit us any more or less?
Oh, I don't think so. I think we actually won a few games there last season, so I would say that it's probably neither, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, whenever you're playing the Bulldogs, as I said, if you can slow them down, so if it was rainy and wet, you'd probably prefer that. But I don't think it's going to make a difference. Now,
Leopard, being new to the club, you probably heard a lot about the Tiger Army. As we said, they're up and about. You must be enjoying the experience.
It's been great. I mean,
you're from a Richmond family, though.
I am very much. Yeah, I'm very much Richmond family, and it's the worst thing. Family functions are horrendous now. It's good in Brisbane when no one cared. Actually, it was quite nice. But no, seriously though, it's obviously I'm behind the glass, so I can only even through the glass, it's actually quite loud. And every now and again, when Tyke Vickery kicked his goal on the siren at half time, was it 3/4 time? I came on down to the ground then to witness that, and it's just a different perspective. So it's amazing support. I'm looking forward to the day when we get a grand final. And
great. Be good out there on Punt Ride. Well, thanks for joining us, Leper. Let's hope all the Tiger fans can get there this week against the Bulldogs, and we'll be singing the song again. And well done to all the Tiger members. New record membership this week.